So get a lot of inquiries regarding a private place. What's that one location which gives you maximum freedom, peace of mind? It's a getaway, low-key location. A lot of citizens are fed up and tired of their governments constantly bothering them with new requirements. Got to keep proving stuff, whether it's their banking life or financial life. There's too much stress, too much of nonsense going on. Intrusion in personal freedom and privacy. Privacy is a personal right, and it's been severely violated by a lot of governments. And there seems to be a common pattern. A lot of clients are fed up and they want to not necessarily retire, but they want to prep for a private life, for a peaceful life. So what are some of the options? And there are three options I wanted to discuss here, right? Countries that are small, that have a loving, warm population, that's not going to constantly bother you or create headaches for you. Once you're in the country, you have a reasonable amount of privacy, a private life, a happy life, a good life. And you don't have so much of this nonsense keeping an eye on you from every single direction. There isn't enough machinery set all around you to constantly bother you. They'll let you alone. So the three options that I'm going to cover in this video are one, North Macedonia. It's a very tiny country in the Balkans region. Again, not a whole lot of machinery out there to bother you. It's pretty peaceful and quiet and a getaway of sorts. The second option I'm going to discuss is Bolivia. And finally, I'm going to discuss Armenia. Right, there are other options, great options, but my focus here in this is going to be these three. Which is the best out of the three? I'm going to provide my analysis and opinion. Let's start off with North Macedonia. I feel there's some disadvantages with North Macedonia. Yes, the machinery is non-existent, but when you talk about the culture and the population, it's a very closed society. The moment you land in North Macedonia, you instantly feel like an outsider, right? The population there would make you feel like an outsider. Now, if you're going for a visit, that's fine. You can survive the first 2 or 3 days and then you're out. So that's okay. But once you try to integrate in the country, I just feel the society will make you feel like an outsider. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because of a lot of experiences of people just commuting, traveling, interactions with the restaurants, with accommodations out there. Also, what's particularly concerning is the way foreigners are treated at the airports. A lot of people carrying simple drones, used drones, have faced instances of unnecessary questioning at the airports. All these experiences over small little things obviously spoil your experience in the country. So for that reason, although there are some major advantages of North Macedonia, I don't think it's the number one choice. Let's talk about Armenia. Now, Armenia is great from a banking perspective and a privacy perspective. I think it is a tie with North Macedonia. It's a great, beautiful country. I think the people are slightly nicer, I feel, and this is a personal opinion, nothing against anyone, but just the community. Armenians are known to be very warm, welcoming, and nice people. So in that sense, I think the community sense or the acceptance is slightly more as compared to North Macedonia. It's more cleaner and more vibrant because you just have so much of expats moving out of Armenia. They obviously reinvest into the country. They travel back to the country to meet their relatives. So they try to keep the country pretty well organized, neat, and pretty nice. So it's a good destination for visits, travel, short stays. So from a short stay perspective, it may work out. I think one of the issues that I see long term with Armenia is just the conflict, right? You want a country which is small and closed, and that's fine. But then at the same time, you don't want issues with other countries. Just the geopolitical situation, the geographical location where it sits, very close to some of the conflict zones, some of the conflict countries, may make some people uncomfortable if you're, let's say, diversifying in Armenia, buying properties or setting up somewhat of a life. The whole geography makes it slightly risky, in my opinion. It's good. A lot of Russians have invested heavily in Armenia. That's a different spectrum, right? We're talking about the other side. And that's where I feel it may make some people uncomfortable. Also, the situation with Azerbaijan. is something that you want to take into account, because you never know, you might want to travel to Azerbaijan and you don't want issues when you're dealing with that situation. So yes, I think it is a good option, but slightly lower to North Macedonia. The number one option, hands down, I feel, is Bolivia. Now, if you have missed my article on residency and citizenship in Bolivia, make sure to hop onto Advanced Polls and Chats. That's where I publish a lot of behind the scenes information, and then the whole community of advanced members get an option to review and provide feedback. So it's a lot of valuable resource that you can make use of. And if you're not a part of the Advanced Polls and Chats, at least make sure to subscribe to the channel so you're at least notified of all the latest breaking news, analysis, and all of that, right? So now when you talk about Bolivia, I feel Bolivia is much better and one of the best locations for that getaway, that private getaway, which gives you that good life. And the reason why I say that is because yes, the community is warm, they're welcoming, people are very nice. The second big advantage, you're dealing with Spanish, right? So once let's say you're starting to learn Spanish, you can use it over there. That's the same language that's going to be useful from a citizenship perspective later. So investing in a second language, Spanish, absolutely should be the prime choice. If you don't know Spanish, it's always, right now is the good time to invest and learn Spanish, right? So you get prepped for the future. You have access to several solid countries with great passports. So Spanish should be your number one priority. 5 minutes per day you invest, and you should be fine in a couple of years with your abilities. That basic level that they expect should be there. And if you already speak in Spanish, it's always very, very important to become an expert, become a local type of sounding person. That will go a long way in helping you succeed in Latin countries, in Spanish speaking countries. Now again, the machinery that's bothering you, that bothers a lot of people, is missing in Bolivia, which is a good thing, right? You want a peaceful life. You want to have that life where you feel you have retired. Even if you haven't retired, you want that feeling when you go there, when you just want to leave the world and enter into a new world. That's where I think you get some of that feeling from Bolivia. The other big advantage with Bolivia is that it does not have issues with outside countries. Pretty much left alone. No one wants to have any kind of conflict with Bolivia. Likewise, Bolivia doesn't want to deal with anyone externally. It's a pretty closed society. There's lack of bothering machinery. There's great people inside. Spanish is the main language. You're protected. You're closer to home. So let's say from a proximity perspective, it really works out well for someone from, let's say, US or Canada. You have access to the region, right? That's the region where you want to be, because you have other countries to pick and choose from, work your residency and your citizenship. And the final advantage with Bolivia is that you have a clear pathway to residency and then citizenship. The Bolivian passport is not bad. It's pretty interesting. It has some very interesting, unique advantages in terms of access and reputation that you carry. Now, if you want to get started with any of the residencies that I talk about, I cover, click that link in the description, book a call with us. We can discuss what is the best fit scenario that you're looking for and get you started immediately. Also, let me know in the comments below what you feel about Bolivia, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in this next one.